Well, hello everyone. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, today I'm going to tackle the collision damage on the rear. It's like they either backed into something or something hit them and the overrider smashed into the rear body panel and the rear of the trunk floor area. After giving it a lot of thought and using a well-used term, I'm just going to go old school. I got a come along tied off to a tree. I got a 2x4 holding everything apart. We're going to give it a go and see what happens. I'd made up a eye bolt that I drilled a hole and put through and put a flat piece of metal on the other side and gradually putting some tension on it. These bodies are all sheet metal, so they don't take a whole lot of force at any one time. So the process hasn't changed over the years. You put some tension, the metal's in a bind, and it wants to go back to the way it was. You just got to coax it. Give it a little tension, tap it everywhere you can see, and repeat as necessary. Using a varying assortment of tools, hammers, pry bars. Here I've got Tim holding a dolly on the inside, trying to coax that crease out. Got a whole tray full of tools out there, but I keep having to run in and go get something else. Got her in, put a little more tension, well-placed blows in key areas. And this pulled out the majority of it. And the upper part of the weather strip seal still had some area that was pushed in separate from the first dent. So clamped a vice grip on it, clamped a clamp on the vice grip, and gently pulling. It's not only adding tension, also pull and release the tension. Just kind of working the dent. Give it a little, let it relax, give it a little. Took me a few years to get this patience. I will admit that there were many times I hooked a big old clamp on it, gave it a great big pull, and ripped out a great big old chunk of metal. And of course, had to figure out some way of fixing the damage that I caused. Well, I've decided that should be good enough. Get everything unhooked and move it to the other side. Made it around the other side, hooked everything up as before, gave it plan A, and plan A didn't work. Not to be dismayed, figured it was operator error. We'll reattach plan A. Get my assistant to put in the fibrous adjusting pole. 2x4's in place. And we'll put her again and watching closely, hoping that it will hold. Nope, it's not going to hold. So, plan B. Went inside, got me a piece of thick sheet metal, trimmed it to fit, and we'll weld her on. Got the tab welded on, install shiny clamp. Hook up the functional pulling arrangement. It'll come along, it's seen a lot of use, but it's still going. And then back to the hammer. And you may notice on this tire repair, all I used was the body hammer. I didn't get out the big hammer. Once again, tapping around all the stress areas, the high points. There's more of the pulling and releasing for a little. Now I'm tapping back here. There's some vertical supports went back there. I'm sure that they were also stressed somewhat, so while it's under load, tap it. And it just generally releases things all over. This one I had to do in 2 steps. The first piece I welded on was more or less for the inner structure. Now I'm welding in a tab. It's actually on the rear valance panel. It's going to try to move it out independent of what I was pulling on the first time. Clamp on. And I didn't quite like the way it was stuck, so put a little more weld on it. Get my 2x4 cistern in place, and here, while I'll speed it up, I was pulling it between the notches on the come along, just tensioning it, letting it off, tensioning it, letting it off, walking the dent out. Step back now and then. Curve is looking good. Still have a big chunk of the trunk floor is left attached to the rear valance to hold everything more or less in the way it was. When we get that cut out, I'll finish working the dents out of the rear valance and fit the trunk to the rest of the car. There are some before and after shots. So the inside that had a very deep kink in it before. This is the trunk area, smoothed out. Driver's side. Now it's time to take the rest of the trunk floor out. And I am sitting down. And final of the day, we have all of the trunk floor out. Still have some touch up to do around the edges. Do some water work on the rear body panel. And see about fitting the trunk in that opening that we've left for it. Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed it.